I am your host, Tori, Nakael.
This is for the girls on the left and the right, yeah, got you.
Let's chat.
From the
Let's
front
get
to
into
the
it.
back, yeah, got you. Good dreams, good vibes, and I like to talk about it out here, girl, I got you. For the girls, for the girls, for the girls, I got you. For the girls, for the girls, for the girls, I got you.
You know what? If you a guy, it's for you too, baby. Alright. Hello everybody, and welcome back to For the Girls. I am your host, Tori Nakael, and of course, you are my co-host, okay? Go ahead, sit down, you know what the deal is. Get you a good drink, baby. Today, y'all already know, I got me a little iced coffee. Get whatever you will. Get your glass of wine. Let's sit down and let's chat. Okay, let's get into it. Let me sip a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay. So, today's topic is about refusing to dim your lights. Okay. I just thought about this topic, and more recently because I had planned out topics, and this one kind of just fell in my lap. It kind of came out of nowhere, but I'm like, I need to talk about this, right? So, I was having a conversation a few weeks ago, when I had an epiphany, if you will. I had a realization, right? And at the age of 26, I am just now being unapologetically myself, right? Like, whoever I am just now walking in that, in everything about me, and not being ashamed of it or not feeling self-conscious about it. You know, not that I don't have my insecurities, but obviously we all do, but you know, I'm just now feeling like I'm just being me, right? And previously, like, I've always thought of myself as shy, you know, very meek. I was genuinely scared to talk to people. And it was only after you got to know me that you realized, or that you got to see my personality for really who I am. Because honestly, I'm not shy. Like, honestly, I'm very talkative. I talk a lot. Hence this podcast. I talk too much, to be honest. And I really didn't like that about myself. Like, I really didn't like to be the person that you have to get to know to really see who I am. Like, it really bothered me from such a young age, and I really couldn't, like, pinpoint, you know, what happened, you know, because it's like, when you're going through elementary school, elementary schools are typically small and everybody know everybody. And I was always like talkative. I always wanted to talk to the person sitting next to me, or, quite literally, I used to get in trouble for talking. Like, they would call home and be like, she's talking too much. Like, every morning before I got out of the car, it got so bad. So my daddy would be like, okay, have a good day and close your mouth. Because, baby, I'm talking. What we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that talkative, and I realized that after elementary school, I had to transfer county, so I went to a completely different county of school systems, where I didn't know anybody when I went into middle school. And honestly, that was the worst thing that happened to me. And I was devastated when I found out that I had to move. But anyway, I went into this school and I didn't know anybody. So the first week of school, you know, we had our little assigned seats or whatever. And I sat next to this girl. And mind you, like I said, I didn't go to elementary school with these people. So a lot of these kids, they knew each other from there. I was quite literally, you know, the new kid on the block. And I sat next to this girl. And I obviously didn't know who she was at the time. Because, you know, in elementary school, you kind of have your popular... Every school, you know, you kind of have your popular kids or whatever. So I kind of assumed that she was kind of that in elementary school. And she actually continued to be that in middle school. She was that in elementary school. She continued to be that in middle school. But anyway. Y'all know I get off on a tangent. That's why I have to have these cards, baby, because I got to stay focused. Okay. And yeah, not only did I not know anyone, but I was really skinny. Like, I was super skinny. My dad really couldn't afford to put me in like the best of the best clothes. I had super long legs, so pretty much, long story short, my clothes was like really baggy, because it was either or. Either they fit and they was too short, my pants, or they was baggy and long enough. And my daddy went with baggy and long enough. So, you know, I was already feeling like very self-conscious about that, right? I was already scared and feeling self-conscious. So anyways, fast forward, we're in this class, and I sit next to this girl, and I'm just being myself. Like, I'm being my regular talkative self. And she says to me, you know, you talk too much. And that really devastated me. And I did not realize how much that devastated me until quite literally a few weeks ago. And the reason why I say that is because after that moment, like after she told me that really hurt my feelings. And yes, it was very mean. Kids are mean. That really hurt my feelings. And I'm a sensitive soul, okay? And I just stopped talking. Like, I just stopped talking after that. Like, I didn't go to any other class, going in, talking to kids. If kids talk to me, like if the other kids talk to me, then I would talk back a little bit. But for the most part, I got really quiet until I kind of just found my group of friends or found the people that I could talk to, and I talked to them. And that haunted me. Like, and it sounds very dramatic, but it really did. And I believe it haunted me, like, self-consciously. It created this fear for me to go into situations talking and for people to not like me. Because I'm new here, and I'm like, well, I don't want nobody else to have that opinion about me, you know, that I talk too much. When really, I should have told her to close her ears, or nowadays, I'd have said something else, you know, if somebody told me that now. But back then, you know, I'm young. I don't really, know. And I subconsciously, I kind of created that person into my personality. The quiet, don't want to say anything. And that literally became my personality. Like I said, until you got to know me. And it, like, literally all the way through college. Like I said, I'm just now, after having graduated college, I am just now walking in who I truly am. You know, it has taken me so long to break free of that fear about what other people think, or people not liking my personality or liking who I am. Like, it has taken me so long to get out of that, because it created such a fear for me. Even in high school, like, I still didn't dress the best in high school. I didn't get talked about as much as high school, because people used to talk about me all the time in middle school about being super skinny. You know, it went from, elementary school, the kids were talking about my forehead. And then middle school, everybody's talking about how skinny I am. And so high school, people didn't really talk about me like that. Not to my face. If they talked about me, it was definitely behind my back, because I didn't know. But I knew that I was skinny. And I knew I didn't dress the best. So at that point, all I had was my personality. And I was so afraid to show it to people that I think I really enjoyed high school. And I wasn't like a loner. Like, I had a group of friends, but I know that I only had that group of friends because I was friends with someone else. Like, my best friend, I only had a group of friends because of her, because she ain't shy. And she's always been very talkative and, just show her personality immediately since I met her. That's how we became friends in the first place, because she talked to me. And it really, like, realizing that just made me so sad, because I realized how many opportunities and how I missed out on so much. Even through college, I didn't start really like hanging out with friends until my junior year of college. And that was because of my ex-boyfriend. Like, I only met my group of friends that I have now from college because of him. So I realized, like, and I was sad. Like, I used to cry all the time in college, like, especially my freshman year, because I wasn't making no friends. I felt so alone, and I was so afraid to talk to people. And had I just been able to be myself like I am now, I would have been so much more talkative, so much more outgoing, so much, like, I wouldn't have had such a fear to get out there and really make the college experience what I wanted it to be. It really prohibited me because I allowed her to create that fear in me. And I personified it. You know what I mean? Even in high school, I was in journalism, and that's a newspaper, and we had to go out and talk to people, and I would be assigned, like, one time I had to talk to the football team, and one time I had to talk to the swim team, and I was scared. I was scared. When I say scared, like, I dang near failed that class because I didn't want to go talk to people. Like, that's how serious. I was like, no. I don't want to talk to them. I'm skinny. They probably going to be thinking I'm ugly. Like, I just, that really hindered me. And I hate, you know, we're not supposed to have any regrets. But I don't like that I allowed that to dictate who I was, because honestly that could have kept me from my purpose, right? I don't really know the depths. I don't really know how far this podcast is going to go. I don't know what all my purpose is, but I do know that this is something that I definitely have a passion for. I love to talk, and had I continued to allow what someone else felt about me to manifest in my life, then I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk about it. You know what I mean? And what I had to realize later on in life is that God is not the author of fear. He didn't give me that fear. You know, I took that fear on myself, and I allowed that person to manifest fear in me. I accepted it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't really like that it's taken me so long to get rid of that fear, to get out of that. But I'm glad I have, right? And and it kind of reminds me of like this song, right? So there's a song, and I'm going to read it verbatim what he said. There's a song by Marvin Sapp.
This episode was filmed almost a year prior to the recent Marvin Sapp incident. Please don't let that distract you from the words.
And it's called I Believe, right? And there's a part in there where he says, it's a little long of a quote, but it speaks to me because this is kind of the realization that I had years later, right? Like, okay, so there's this quote, and it goes, what he says in the song, he's singing, and then he kind of takes a break and he speaks. So he says, there are going to be times in your life as a believer when you're going to question if God is really on your side. And the reason why you're questioning it is because it seems like the devil is hitting you with everything he could possibly throw at you. But you need to understand something. You need to remember the only reason why you're in that position now is because God has ordered your steps. And the only reason why the devil is hitting you like he's hitting you is because he has literally peeked into your future. And he sees what God is about to bring you into. And my grandma, she plays that song all the time. And that part is so significant, what he says to me, because looking back, it's like, he already knew what I was going to be, right? He already knew my path and my purpose. literally peeked into my future. And he started way back then trying to keep me from my purpose and what God has for me. And me not knowing, not me, kind of holding my feelings to myself and not really expressing it to anybody, because I don't think anybody knew that happened. I took that on and I allowed that fear to operate in my life.
Is your boyfriend too lazy to get your car washed? Well, girl, don't even worry about it. I got somebody else's boyfriend that would gladly take care of the job. If you're in the metro Atlanta area, be sure to hit up Smart Wash on Instagram to book your car wash. And be sure to use my discount code for the girls to get 10% off your first car wash.
And what's not finna happen is you're not finna keep me from my purpose. You're not finna keep me from being who I need to be and being successful the way that I want to be successful. Not finna happen. But had I continued to allow her words to operate in my life, then it could keep me from my future. And he know that. Right? The enemy know that. He knows. He sees what God has for you. And he always trying, that thing say, that Bible say, baby, he come to steal, kill, and destroy. He trying to destroy me. He trying to destroy me, but you can't allow that to happen. And there was it was really a realization, and I was like, really in awe. I'm like, dang, because I'm just thinking like, how did I even get there? I remember going to my grandma and crying, right, to her, like, I'm so shy. And she told me, I think this is like middle school that I cried to her about this. And she was like, that's what she said to me. It's creating a fear. And I didn't realize what that meant at the time. That fear was trying to keep me from my purpose. And whatever my purpose is, that fear ain't on me no more. And you can't allow people to place any type of fear, any type of doubt in you. Because everybody not going to see your vision. Everybody not going to see what God has for you. Because it ain't for them. It's for you. Right? So they don't got to believe. They don't got to motivate you. You motivate yourself. You got God. He going to motivate you. He going to open the doors for you that need to be open. You don't got to depend on other people to do that for you. You don't gotta have. So many successful people has come and talked about their success in interviews and saying how people did not see the vision because it wasn't for them to see. Right? And I'm preaching to the choir here, baby, because I've been going through it, with this, trying to see my purpose, trying to, I can't tell nobody because they're gonna say, they just think it's something small. They just think it's something small. And I come from a family of creators and visionaries, right? And thank God for that, because I do have people that believe in what I'm doing. Even if they don't understand it. Even if they don't get what it is. If I need them to help me with something, they're like, okay. And I thank God for that. But I know everybody doesn't have that. And you honestly just gotta depend on God, and that's a lot easier said than done, because people say that all the time. Depend on God, baby. I'm trying. I don't see it. I don't see it, but we got to, right? And like, my story is symbolic, right? Because as much as I would love for it to be different, if it were different, I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell you about it, right? And I know, because get this, like, I majored in mass communications with a concentration in film and video production. That's what I majored in. I had public speaking classes, right? That's where I've seen my future, and that's where my passion lies. How am I going to be able to have a career in that and I can't even talk to people? I can't even speak. How? How am I going to prosper in what God has for me if I can't even open my mouth and talk? Even now with the job that I have, there is a social media, if you will, PR department where I am and what I do. And I went, and the guy that's over it, I went and I talked to him. I had been in situations with him, right? And I'm going to say this and I'll be done. And that's why I say I'm just now, like within the past year, I'm living in who I am, right? Because I saw him and I knew who he was, and I wanted to tell him about my experience and wanting to be in that, you know, just to do something with him, just to gain more experience with, you know, social media and, you know, just kind of what I went to school for. I got in an elevator with him. It was just me and him, and I didn't open my mouth. I seen him in the cafeteria. Nobody else was there, and I did not open my mouth. God presented these opportunities, and because I'm so scared, because we're going to speak that off of me. Because I was so scared to talk to people, I ain't even say a word to him. And when I went to go talk to him, right, I told him everything that I wanted to do. And he was like, dang, we just hired 2 new people to help me, because I've been in this department by myself for months. Missed opportunity. And that was a lesson for me, girl. Open your mouth. When God presents opportunity for you, you gonna know it, and you better walk in it, because you're gonna miss it if you don't. And I definitely missed that, but I won't miss anything else that God has for me, and neither should you. Walk in your purpose. I have an episode about that, but specifically, I just wanted to talk about how I was hindered and how I allowed fear to operate in my life, and how you should not do that. Don't fear anything but God, because He did not create fear, and so therefore it should not be operating in us. Period. That's it. That's all. That's it. Ain't nothing else to it, girl. Get what belongs to you. Or man, boy, get what belongs to you. That's it. Sound off in the comments below if you are watching. Okay? Y'all the co-host, baby, tell me. Give me your story. Tell me about your testimony or whatever you just let's spill a tea in the comments, because I'm gonna be down there chatting it up with y'all. Let's get into it. Okay? And stay tuned for my next episode. Y'all already know what it is. That is it for today's episode, and I'm gonna be back with another one. We're gonna be right here in this chair, baby. We're gonna have our drink and we're gonna chat it up. Okay? And let's relax and let's talk about it. Let's have a little girl chat, okay?